government committed to the elimination of child labor in Jamaica. State Minister in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Dr. the Honourable Norman Dunn, says the government is committed to the elimination of child labor in Jamaica. Speaking at a Jamaica Information Service, JIS, think tank, today, the 29th of November, Dr. Dunn pointed out that this commitment by the administration is on record. The state minister said that Jamaica is a signatory to C-138 in respect to the minimum age for work done by children and Internal Labour Organization, ILO, Convention, and C-182 that speaks to the worst forms of child labor. Being a signatory to these ILO conventions is very important, because the issue of child labor is a long-standing issue worldwide, and Jamaica is very adamant that where the situation arises, we will be part of any thrust to eliminate child labor from Jamaica, he said. Child labor is defined as work that deprives children of their childhood, their potential and their dignity, and is harmful to physical and mental development. It also refers to work that is mentally, physically, socially or morally dangerous and harmful to children, and or interferes with their schooling. The ILO has reported that in 2021 there were more than 160 million children worldwide engaged in child labor, with the Caribbean region accounting for 1.1 million. Jamaica recently hosted a 5-member delegation from the Brazil International Labour Organization, ILO, South-South Mission, who are meeting with representatives from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and other stakeholders on the regional initiative to eradicating child labour by 2025. Dr. Dunn said the government of Jamaica, through the ministry over the past 9 years, has ramped up its public education program to sensitize Jamaicans on this issue. Meanwhile, Program Officer for the Regional Initiative for Latin America and the Caribbean, Free of Child Labor, based in the ILO Caribbean Office, Port of Spain, Trinidad, Rizal Melville, who is part of the mission, pointed out that Jamaica was one of the original countries that signed on to creating the regional initiative, which was established in 2014. Ms. Melville said that in the context of this regional initiative the goal is to engage countries according to a common strategic framework that sets certain specific targets and goals. We work to facilitate technical cooperation between and among the countries to enable the exchange of knowledge and information tools that actually bring tangible approaches and solutions that have an impact on the lives that we seek to change, she said. Jamaica has actually been ahead of many of its counterparts in the region in terms of addressing some fundamentals, such as its legislative framework, and so we indeed look forward to the strengthening of the legislative framework that protects children by the inclusion of a hazardous child labor and light work list, Ms. Melville said. She applauded Jamaica's progress on revamping and revitalizing its National Action Plan for the Prevention of Child Labor. Other members of the mission are Program Coordinator, ILO Brazil South-South Cooperation Program, Fernanda Barreto, Brazilian Cooperation Agency, Project Analyst, Monica Salmito, Labor Inspector and National Inspection Coordinator in the fight against child labor, Ministry of Labor and Employment, Federal Government of Brazil, Roberto Padilla, and General Coordinator of Socio-Educational Measures and Intersectoral Programs, Ministry of Development and Social Assistance, Family and Fight Against Hunger, Federal Government of Brazil, Ana Carla Costa Rocha Dotchin of Child Labor State Minister. 3 weeks later, employers urged not to engage persons under 18 years of age. Courtesy of Judith Hay Hunter, the 18th of December, 2023. Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Dr. the Honourable Norman Dunn. State Minister in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Dr. the Honourable Norman Dunn, is warning employers not to engage persons under the age of 18 years to work in their establishments. Section 34 of the Child Care and Protection Act, CCPA, criminalizes child labor. Under the Act, a fine not exceeding $500,000 or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both, can be leveled on persons who act contrary to the conditions stated in the CCPA. Speaking with JIS News recently, Dr. Dunn said Jamaica is committed to the elimination of all forms of child labor. The International Labour Organization, ILO, defines child labor as work that deprives children of their childhood, their potential and dignity, work that is harmful to physical and mental development, socially or morally dangerous, and interferes with a child's schooling. Meanwhile, child work is the participation in work that does not affect his or her health and education, as well as depriving them of the chance to enjoy their rights, and is generally regarded as something positive that contributes to the child's development. Child work equips children with skills that help them to be productive members of society and mold them to be responsible citizens. However, if such work deprives them of their childhood, interferes with their schooling by denying them of the opportunity to attend school, then it is child labor. Dr. Dunn pointed out that child work cannot include working /begging on the street, working in massage parlours, working as exotic dancers, or involvement in tobacco, drugs, gun trade and lottery scamming. Child labor puts the participants at risk, and when we speak about the worst forms of child labor, it is important for the conversation to be heard right across Jamaica, he said. According to the ILO, the worst forms of child labor involve children being enslaved, separated from their families, exposed to serious hazards and illnesses, and or left to fend for themselves on the streets. There are about 54 articles that deal with various aspects of a child's life, and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is ensuring that employers and employees are sensitized about the various charters that the country is signatory to. The ministry is also ensuring that Jamaica adheres to the tenets of these agreements with the ILO, Dr. Dunn said. The government of Jamaica has ratified ILO Convention C-138 in respect of the minimum age for work done by children, and the ILO Convention C-182 on the worst forms of child labor. Just 24 hours earlier, Minister Bartlett highlighted the need for skilled workers. The Tourism Ministry has reaffirmed its commitment to training and certifying a competent workforce to meet the impending influx of visitor arrivals in the coming years. Portfolio Minister, Honourable Edmund Bartlett, stated that the industry will generate 45,000 new jobs in the next few years because of the construction of new hotels and the expansion of room stock, which will soon reach 20,000. The minister noted that the Jamaica Centre for Tourism Innovation, JCTI, which is the ministry's training arm, is seen as a critical step in preparing workers to meet the demands of the expanding industry. Next year we begin to open as of April, the first 1,000, then next 700, then we go to another 450, then we have the Hard Rock Unico going on, and I just finished negotiating for another 2,000 rooms right beside it. We talked about another 750 in Trelawney, and we're moving to that 20,000 rooms, Mr. Bartlett said. But how many workers do we need? We are going to need 45,000 more workers to deal with that. Where are they coming from? They are going to have to come from the bowels of our people, but they have to be trained, he continued. The minister was speaking at the inaugural JCTI Awards and Recognition ceremony held at the Montego Bay Convention Centre in Rose Hall, St. James, on the 13th of December. Mr. Bartlett noted that these workers will need to be trained proficiently, and various institutions including the JCTI and the Heart Trust /NSTA, have been tasked with preparing the local workforce. The JCTI has its work all cut out for it and all the other institutions including Heart Trust, NSTA and everybody else. Let us prepare ourselves because the future beckons us, but it only beckons those who are prepared for it, he stated. In addition to the expanding room stock, the global tourism industry is gearing up for an influx of 1 billion more tourists over the next 10 to 15 years. The minister said with this forecast in mind, the focus now turns to where these tourists will go and where they will originate from. However, Mr. Bartlett expressed an unwavering commitment to ensuring that Jamaica is a preferred destination for the global travelers. To achieve this goal, Minister Bartlett emphasized the importance of a well-trained workforce capable of delivering the highest level of service. The minister noted that quality service is highly valued by tourists and can contribute to higher earnings. The future of tourism for an economy is about qualified, competent staff, because productivity is what drives economic growth, and we can only be assured of productive capacity if there is technical competence, and the only way we know of technical competence is certification, Mr. Bartlett stated. Over 50 partners, stakeholders, and JCTI graduates were recognized at the ceremony. On Wednesday, the 13th of December, 2023, Minister of Tourism, Honorable Edmund Bartlett, extended heartfelt congratulations to Sandals Resorts International for their outstanding wins at the 21st Annual Travel Weekly Readers' Choice Awards. The Black Tie Gala, held on the 13th of December at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, saw Sandals Resorts clinching 2 prestigious awards in the highly competitive Best in Hotel Chains category, securing top honors for Best in the Caribbean and Best All-Inclusive. Expressing his delight, Minister Bartlett said, "I am thrilled to witness Sandals' remarkable double triumph at Travel Weekly's recent Reader's Choice Awards. This achievement is a testament to their unwavering commitment to excellence and the exceptional guest experience they provide in Jamaica and other destinations across the Caribbean. My sincere commendations to Executive Chairman Adam Stewart and the entire team on this stellar achievement." Minister Bartlett added, "I am pleased to see that Sandals, our homegrown luxury hotel chain, continues to excel on the international stage, flying the Jamaican banner high and doing our nation proud. It is proof of the high quality of our local brands and our destination overall." Sandals Resorts, a regional beacon of luxury and hospitality, emerged victorious in the Best in Hotel Chains category after an open ballot phase during the summer, where readers nominated companies exemplifying excellence in various categories. Sandals Resorts secured its place as a finalist based on readers' votes and subsequently prevailed in the second round of voting held in the fall. The tourism minister also acknowledged the success of Charisma Hotels and Resorts, a key player in the Jamaican market, for their win in the boutique hotels subcategory. Additionally, he also lauded Marriott International, which also has a significant presence in Jamaica, after it clinched wins in the domestic, U.S. market, Hawaii/South Pacific, sales and service, and hotel group overall subcategories. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.